back to my channel. We are back for yet again another top whatever number, and today we're going to be reading 10 Pokemon that would wreak havoc in the real world. Pokemon has grown into one of the most successful franchises of this generation, and it has been fascinating to see how the property has been able to grow over the years, as well as expand into different streams to the point that Pokemon feels omnipresent. One way in which the series continues to evolve is through the incorporation of increasingly powerful Pokemon, whether they're legendary creatures or just especially strong regular Pokemon. The Pokemon franchise doesn't exist in some magical fantasy world, but it's definitely different from the real world. These strong and dangerous Pokemon are often responsible for some dire events, and it's frightening to think what some could accomplish if they were existed in reality. Number 10. Mewtwo's disdain for humanity would be the Earth's undoing. Mewtwo is one of the first big dangers that get introduced in the Pokemon series. Plenty of powerful and rare Pokemon have followed Mewtwo, but Mewtwo stands out due to how he's the product of a genetic engineering and morbid experimentation, which fuels the first Pokemon movie. Mewtwo's psychic powers make him able to control other Pokemon, so he could essentially launch a coup where they attack the world together in tandem. Other Pokemon are strong, but Mewtwo is one of the few that is actually given a reason to want to destroy the world and people in it. Of course, it's just like... It's also like every villain, it's just like they have a fucking like morbid-ass background that you relate to more than like superheroes. You know, like Bucky and Loki, take for example. It's just like they're my favorite and their backstories are fucked. Same for Mewtwo. Number 9. Entei's voice triggers natural disasters. The second generation of Pokemon titles that are set within the Johto region start the tradition of having several legendary Pokemon that are tied to the world in dangerous ways. The appearance of legendary Pokemon usually have the state of the world in flux to some degree, with these Pokemon meant to keep or break this balance. Entei is a fire-type legendary who wields dangerous attacks, but Entei's Pokédex entry states that its roar sets off volcanoes around the world, and it's terrifying to think that of dozens or hundreds of volcanoes erupting based on Entei's bad mood. Number 8. Kyogre could drown the world within a whim. Generation 3 of Pokemon brings forward a lot of powerful new Pokemon, and Kyogre is the water-type legendary that's tied to Groudon and Rayquaza. But of the trio, it's Kyogre that would inflict the most damage to the world, because Kyogre's specialty is the manipulation of the oceans as well as any weather that corresponds to them. This means that Kyogre has the ability to raise ocean levels and flood an entire planet or have a series of tidal waves or hurricanes that devastate the world. Kyogre is not a Pokemon that should be set off. I don't know. I think, Kyogre could do a lot of damage, but so could Rayquaza and Groudon. I mean, Groudon fucking walks and the earth fucking splits in half. Rayquaza fucking, I don't know, does something with the weather. Number 7. Zekrom's electricity powers could short out the planet. Zekrom is fortunately one of the legendary Pokemon that feels an eccentric, intrinsic responsibility to keep the world in balance. However, that doesn't mean that Zekrom can't lash out and isn't capable of turning against the world. Electric-type Pokemon can be extremely dangerous in a real-world context, whether it's through hazardous lightning strikes or just shortening out the world's power supply with its ability of leaving everyone in a state of darkness. Zekrom very notably disabled the electric abilities of Ash's Pikachu for a short while, which speaks both into strength and how it can turn against pure individuals. Number 6. Heatran bleeds magma and can be unstable. Fire-type Pokemon can be the most hazardous in the real world because of just how this planet is flammable. There are many strong-type legendary fire types, but Generation 5's Heatran is a sturdy mix of fire and steel Pokemon that has a connection to the Earth's core. Heatran typically spends time in volcanic caves where he has a link to the inner molten workings of the planet. Heatran has many volatile moves that will do damage above ground, but within the Earth they can trigger chains of reactions that result in volcanic eruptions, earthquakes, and other natural disasters. That'd be freaky as fuck. He's also like a giant beetle, and that's kind of crazy. Number 5. Volcanion can reshape landscapes with its power. Volcanion is a power Pokemon from Generation 5 or 6, one of those two. Can't read Roman numerals, sorry. Kalos region, that's a rare occasion of a contrasting fire and water type Pokemon. This Distonomy produces intense steam from Volcanion, which is strong enough that it's able to demolish mountains. That same energy could be applied to a crowded city, and it doesn't help that the Pokemon is temperamental and easily to set off. All this is to say nothing of its strength of its water and fire canyons, which are just as powerful as the steam that it produces. Number 4. Lunala and Solgaleo are their own heavenly bodies. Lunala and Solgaleo are two important Pokemon in Generation whatever Sun and Moon entries in the series. It's a creative idea to have two complementary Pokemon that correspond to the Sun and Moon, but this level of power is actually quite sobering. Lunala is able to absorb any and all light and convert it to its own energy, which means it's another Pokemon that could leave parts of the world in darkness. Alternatively, Solgaleo generates enough energy to resemble the sun, which could easily blind the earth and cause other problems. It's funny because most other in others series they have not they have two counterparts like Darkrai and Cresselia or Dialga and Palkia. Although I guess it kind of makes sense for them because they're complementary because it's time and space. But the fact that it's also when you have counterparts, they're mostly enemies, like Mew and Mewtwo, or uh like Groudon and Kyogre, or all that fun stuff. So it's pretty interesting to see these two complementary Pokemon that actually work well together and not just fight each other to the death. Speaking of, number 3, Palkia and Dialga control time and space. Legendary Pokemon have come to represent certain elements and ideas throughout the Pokemon series, but Generation 5 or 6, I think it's 5 because, oh no, Generation, wasn't Dialga and Palkia, oh no, it's Generation 5, sorry. No wait, wouldn't that be Sinnoh? So it would be Generation 4? Oh, that is 4. Sorry, I'm retarded. Palkia and Dialga are a huge change of pace since these legendary Pokemon govern space and time. Palkia has the ability to control space and teleport itself or others to other dimensions. Its presence also literally stabilizes space, and Dialga is just as dangerous, and time itself flows along Dialga's heartbeat. This may mean that Dialga's excursion would also result in the end of time, which is more destructive than some worldwide natural disasters. How would that work? If time itself is alongside Dialga's heartbeat, which would be I guess just normal resting stable heartbeat. But when it's what, fucking angry or whatever, does time go by faster? And what if something happens to him, if he faints or something, then the world's just done? How would that work? Because you can't stop time. Time is an infinite thing that goes forever. How would you stop time? Because the only way that I can think of time stopping is say you have super speed, and when you run, it seems like time stops, or I don't know, you have the ability to stop time and do whatever the hell you want as a superpower. But it's I can't quite grasp the concept of time just stopping, because if the time would stop, I think the world would still go on. You just wouldn't know the time. If that's how that works. Anyways, number 2, Yveltal is a dark Pokemon that's built to suck life. There are lots of Pokemon that look and sound destructive, but Yveltal is a flying dark-type Pokemon from the Sinnoh region, no piece from Kalos, try again, from the Kalos region, and literally is known as the Destruction Pokemon. Yveltal's talents are especially advanced, and it doesn't waste its dark-type designation. Yeah, whatever. Yveltal thrives by sucking the life force out of living things, which makes it perfectly suited to sap the earth and its population dry. What makes Yveltal even more of a threat is when it dies, it triggers a final absorption process that sucks the surrounding life force of the world and transforms the Pokemon into protective cocoons. Yikes. And number 1, Garantina's violence has led to its banishment. Various threats have cropped up throughout the Pokemon franchise, but there's typically a harmony that exists between many creatures. Garantina is a dragon and ghost-type Pokemon that's one of the few examples of a Pokemon that's actually been banished away because of its dangers and violent tendencies. Garantina holds the power over both Dialga and Palkia, which is saying something, but Garantina is stuck in the universe distortion world. This just allows Garantina's rage to fester, and it builds a larger resentment to the real world and how it will ruin it. Bro, that's fucked. You just get so mad at everything that you just get banished to another dimension, and because of that, you're just still so fucking pissed off and angry that you just want to come back and destroy the world. That's funny. Anyways, that's basically it for this one. I hope you all enjoyed. Let me know your opinions down in the comments, and I guess who would be another Pokemon that would destroy the world? I can think of fucking a million more. But yeah, if you're new to my channel, be sure to hit the subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, and hit the bell so you're notified when I make videos, which is every Wednesday, or I try to be. Yeah, but I love you guys, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.